In today's video, we're making a color wheel. If you've never done this before, I invite you to come paint along. This is the basics of color theory and it will really help you get started. And also, if you are wondering if your colors are warm or cool and how to place them on your palette, this video will help you with that. Okay, so I'm using a watercolor paper that is cold press and 140. I have a size 8 brush, it's round. You'll need a pencil if you want to sketch out your color wheel first. And then I have my set of primary colors. Now normally you might think primaries are just red, yellow, and blue, but actually all these colors are going to run slightly warm and slightly cool. And so when I set up my color wheels, I try to put them in those categories, and you'll see later on, and I'll explain it as why that is really important to do. If you're interested in using these same exact colors, this is by Daniel Smith. It's the Essential Set, and it comes with a warm and cool of each of the red, yellow, and blue. So you could also call it cyan, magenta, yellow, which is also known as a set of primaries. And then I'm also using a little ceramic dish here to mix up my colors. And this is really high professional quality paint, and so only a little bit is needed. You just need a little dab. And I'm setting this up so that all the cool colors are on one side and all the warm colors are on the other side. Now I have a color wheel here, and this is just one that you can purchase online, and I can leave a link below. I have all my supplies listed in the description. And I'm going to use this actually today as a outline. So I'm going to trace my circles, and I'm going to do one wheel for my warm and one wheel for my cool. And if you don't have a color wheel, no problem, find something circular, or you can even sort of freehand it. It doesn't have to be perfect. As long as we have two different charts, you'll be good. You'll also want to divide up your color wheel by sections. You'll need 12 different little pie wedges. So with 3 colors, we'll be making the primaries, the secondaries, and the tertiaries. So that's 12 total for each wheel. If you're not sure if your color runs warm or cool, try to look at your color with the undertone in mind. So a red, for example, can look a bit more orange and warmer, and that will be on your warm side. Or if it runs cool, it's going to look a little bit more like a pinky magenta and have a lot more purple in it. And with the yellow, you can also see that if it's a bit warmer, it'll have more orange in it. And if it's cooler, it's going to lean more towards the green side, because that means there's an undertone of blue in that yellow. Same with the blues. One might look a little bit more like greenish, and that means it has a bit of yellow in it. And if your blue runs warmer, it's going to have more red in it and lean more towards a purple side. It could be very subtle, but there will be a difference. So that might be a good way for you to sort of gauge your colors, and every brand and set will be slightly different. Okay, so what I'm doing now is going with my warm set of colors and putting in the primaries. So for this one on the left, it's going to be the red, yellow, and blue. And I already did the red pie piece. Somehow the camera didn't record, so I don't have that footage, but the technique is exactly the same. You get a little bit of your color, and what I like to do is actually put the strongest color towards the outer edge and then fade it as it gets to the center, so that I can just see for my own personal use what it looks like a little bit more diluted and translucent. I like to see each color's properties that way. So if you want to follow that same method, you can just put the strong color down, and then as you fade downwards, rinse your brush each time to fade out that color, and eventually you'll get just mostly water at that very end. Okay, and then rinsing your brush, put in the last primary. This one is blue. Building your color wheel from a limited palette like this is such a great exercise, especially when you're starting out, and it can get expensive buying professional grade paints. So when you want to start out with just the essentials, you can actually mix and make a ton of colors, and this is a good exercise to show you that. Alright, so while that first set dries, we're going to go ahead and do our cool side of our color wheel. And as you'll see, the red, quote unquote, in here is actually quite magenta. It's got a very pinkish tone to it. And you can immediately see the difference with the warmer red on the left. And you'll also see that once we start mixing these colors, what a difference you'll get from the secondary and tertiary colors as well. Okay, and then for the yellow wedge that I'm putting in, this one you can see that this yellow is quite a bit brighter. In general, the cool colors are going to be a bit brighter, and your warmer color is going to be a bit more earthy and sort of toned down a bit. And this yellow is really bright, it's almost fluorescent. And you can see that the warm yellow already instantly almost looks a bit more like a yellow orange. And as you can see, the blue wedge on the cool side is going to look a bit cooler. It's going to lean more towards the green. And then the warm blue, in comparison, is starting to look a bit more of a purpley undertone. It's much easier to place your colors on a color wheel when you have something to compare it to. So looking at just a blue swatch is very difficult to really tell, unless it's obviously like a blue purple. But it's this close, it's much easier to compare colors when they're side by side like this, and it's a little bit more obvious where to place them on your color wheel. Alright, so we'll start with our secondary colors, and this is going to be the pie wedge in between the primaries. So between red and yellow, we will make the orange. So you take a little red and a little yellow and mix up a good representation of orange. Now, when we do our tertiary colors, which is that third level, then we will lean our orange, the same color, a little more yellow and a little more red, and put in the tertiary colors on either side of this secondary color. This orange is looking a little bit like it's got a bit more red in it, so I'm just going to go in and add a little bit more yellow into it so it's a little bit more of an in-between color. This is a lot of trial and error, so don't worry about trying to get your colors too perfect. Because this is a demonstration, I'm trying to get it as accurate as possible. Alright, so for our next secondary color, we're going to mix this blue and the red, and blue and red make purple. Now, you might have noticed in the past when you're mixing paints, sometimes your purple doesn't really look purple, and it's because you've got two warm colors, and so it's a very earthy version of a purple. And you'll see when we do our cool color palette, that purple is going to be more of a true violety purple. Alright, now for the green. So yellow and blue make green, and again, you'll see that this is going to be a very earthy green. So we'll let all of that dry and move on to our secondary colors on our cool palette. Same technique, we're just going to try to keep these colors as in between as possible, and then rinse your brush really well in between each shade so you're getting a nice clean color. You can already see that these colors are much brighter on the cool side. So this green has a bit more of a yellow undertone, and it's going to look a little bit brighter than the other green that we mixed, which has that more earthy tone. And even this purple, this is in between that magenta and blue color, is going to be more of a true violety purple that you might think of when you are trying to mix purple with red and blue. Good to know if your color is warm or cool, so when you go to create custom colors from your color palette, you'll know what to expect from each combination. Alright, so for the very last stage of this, we'll be doing the tertiary colors, and these are the colors in between your primary and your secondary color. So you're going to take that base of orange and add a bit more red to make red orange, and take the base of that same orange, add a little more yellow, and to make a yellow orange. And you'll do that for each of these colors around the color wheel. This yellow is looking a little bit too similar to the main yellow, so I'm going in and adding a touch of red more, so it's a bit more of a yellow-orange. When you are going in and painting all your wedges, just make sure that the ones that are fully dry. That way you're not going to get any colors that are contaminated, and you'll have some true mixes to refer back to later on. Okay, for that purple red, it's looking a little bit too purpley, so I'm going in with a little bit more red and adding that in. As long as your color is still a little bit wet, you can shift it and adjust it either direction, and then give my brush a rinse and then fading that color down. Also, this purple is looking a bit too light and diluted, so I'm going in with a second layer just to bring up that saturation a bit more. All right, now moving on to the cool color palette and putting in our tertiary colors here. So I'm going to use that secondary color, so that same base orange, green, and purple, and then shift them towards more red, yellow, or blue. So this video is a first in a series. I have a beginner playlist on my channel. Definitely check that out if you are just starting out. And this is the first in a series for color theory. And after this exercise, you'll have a good understanding of your colors and how to mix them and create, essentially you have 12 colors per set of 3 from your primaries, one for the warm, one for the cool. And in the next video, I'm going to show you how you can create a split primary palette. This is the ideal palette in my opinion because you are taking the best of both worlds. Of course, this is subjective. I tend to use a bit more brighter colors, and then I use the earthier toned down colors sparingly. So I have a custom palette set up for the type of work that I do, and this is going to look different across the board. If you do more landscapes, for example, you may prefer more warm colors in your palette. So definitely keep that in mind. And check out the next video about split primaries on how you can use both warm and cool to create the perfect palette for you. This blue purple was feeling a little bit light, so I'm going in with a second layer. And just so I can tell easily and use this chart as a reference later on. If you are brand new to creating a custom palette, I highly recommend this Daniel Smith set of essential colors. It is a great starter set and you'll be able to create all these different colors and shift your colors warm and cool with ease. And as you go further along your watercolor journey, you can always add to that palette and add in some specific colors as you find your favorites along the way. Once you're done, you can also go and label all your colors. This is good for reference later on. So I'll just go do that and put in all the primary names. Alright, so standing back and looking at this, I felt like my cool yellow was a little light. And so I went in and added in a second layer of just that plain pure yellow, just to give it a little bit more saturation so it's easier for me to see and use it as a reference. Because I painted on a block of watercolor paper, it's sealed on the edges. This just helps the paper stay flat while I'm painting. But to release it, I'm using a letter opener. You could also use maybe a ruler, something that's not too sharp so you don't cut your paper or tear it. And that will release the paper from the rest of the sheets. Okay, and here's a final close-up. Let's take a look at these warm colors, really earthy, beautiful tones. Again, there's no right or wrong. This is just going to depend on your subject matter and how you like to paint. And the brighter colors on the cool palette, these are going to look a little bit more like they pop and have a cleaner color and they're a little bit more vibrant. So definitely keep that in mind when you're choosing colors and creating your color palette. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you had a ton of fun painting. I hope this was really helpful and really valuable, especially if you're starting out and getting right into color theory and starting your watercolor journey. Definitely check out the other beginner videos on my playlist. And you can check the description to learn more and find all of my supplies, materials, and other free resources.